I had a client ask me why losing weight in midlife is so very hard and so very difficult. Trust me, I know exactly how you are feeling. Some of you have been following me, watch my YouTube videos, and how I had talked about I did bikini competitions. I've lost weight. I was overweight. I pretty much yo-yoed my entire life. That's what it seemed like, that first part of my life. And now that I am almost 50, things are really changing. And if you are a 50-year-old woman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the main thing is, throughout my entire life, I've always had a pear shape body, very minimal weight on my waist. And as I started to, I noticed that I'm more stressed out. And as my estrogen is starting to drop, I'm noticing that it is packing on around the waist. But I'm going to tell you the reason why it's so hard and what I have been doing to reduce it. And the reason why it is so hard is especially us women in midlife. And if you are a single woman and you have so much that you have to deal with in life, especially alone, it can cause a lot of stress. And with bills and different things in the house, if something breaks down, there you go. You have to go and figure out how to pay for that. And all of this adds on stress. And then you may be working a job that you really don't like. You're not making that much money and more stress. And while this is happening, your estrogen is dropping. And if you are in menopause, you have no more hormones if you're not on bioidentical hormones. And it can be very difficult if you don't know how to manage the stress. And in my opinion, that is the number one thing. Yes, your hormones are declining, but if you can't manage stress, then it's going to make it even more difficult. And then if you are not eating right, and some of my clients that I have worked with, they are eating the right way. Well, they think that they are when I sit down with them or I have a virtual meeting and they tell me everything that they are eating and it's still not quite healthy. And you're eating processed foods. So that's another reason why you are having a difficult time trying to lose weight. And what you have done in your early 20s, in your 30s, in your early 40s, you're just finding it's not working. And what you have to understand, estrogen is declining and it's your protective hormone. And what I mean by that is with your brain fog, your gut health, it actually strengthens the gut lining. And so you're finding you're having more gut issues. And that makes it very hard for you to lose weight. You're noticing your insulin is also increasing. That happened to me. So look, we see eye to eye. I know exactly what you are going through, especially with a woman who has a health coaching certification, and I've helped a lot of women. And this is what happened to me. My A1C has always been about, I would say 5.1 to 5.2 forever. And I noticed over the last year and a half, it went up to 5.8. Yes. What's happening is I'm still in perimenopause. I'm not in menopause as of yet, almost. But what is happening is that, again, your estrogen is declining. You're stressed out. Insulin is increasing. And that is mostly due to because of the decline in estrogen. So even with me working out, well, actually, let me rewind this. So it was 5.8, my A1C. I got it down to 5.5. My goal is 5.2. And how I would eat has changed. I used to eat 4 to 5 small meals a day, and now it is 3 meals. And they are big meals. And constantly snacking and eating is not good. It is spiking your insulin. Now, I've worked with some women that have used intermittent fasting and it worked for them. But there are some where it worked and it stopped working. So what I recommend is that you eat within 60 to 90 minutes when you wake up. And the problem is that you're having a hard time losing because you're having coffee on an empty stomach, which is not good. You're just grabbing cereal, you're grabbing bread or just yogurt with some berries. And here's the thing, you have to make sure you're having a balanced breakfast. And mine switched up. I know I did a video on what I eat in a day. It kind of switched up a little bit because I healed myself from a lot of gut issues that I was experiencing because of the lack of estrogen that I was not producing at the regular level that my body has been used to. And so in the morning, what I do is I always have green leafy vegetables and I have a protein and then I'll have a slow digesting carbohydrate. It could be either whole grains and everything is measured as well. And I eat it in a certain order. So for example, I'll have my protein, my green leafy, and then my carbs last. So the reason why you're probably just wondering, I'm doing everything and nothing is working, but you have to get your insulin, your cortisol. Those are the main things that you really need to focus on. And what is keeping my weight steady is a lot of walking. You have to get in those steps and you have to weight train. I know you hear it all over the internet. They are absolutely right. So when I started lifting a little bit more heavy, and then where I work, I take time out after I eat. 10 minutes after you eat, you want to go for a 10 to 15 minute walk. Or you can do exercise snacks where I will do about 15 to 25 air squats while I'm at my desk. And then I'll sit down and then I'll have a reminder an hour later, like, hey, you got to get up. All right. And so this is why it's so difficult. And I get it. It's just so much information that is out there. You don't know what to believe, who to believe, what to do. Everything is just all over the place. There's so many people that have their versions of what they did with the belly fat and so forth. But then you also have to figure out what is their before and after? I do have a before and after. I have been a woman that was close to 200 pounds. So I get it, being completely obese and then being overweight. And then I was very small where I had muscles and 3-pack abs. So I've experienced all different types of body types. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. And you just don't know what will work for you. And that's why if you are interested in this, in the link, I will leave my 8-week mini course, and it has everything laid out for you. Like, we're working on the foundation. You have to have the foundation first. And once you have the foundation, then we're going to go into, in the program, it also tells you if you want to get on HRT, hormone replacement therapy clinics. I did not do I contact them individually, but they are known to optimize your hormonal health. But before you start adding even peptides, before you even start taking either hormone replacement therapy, you need to have the foundation first. And this 8-week mini course will help you to, and it has recipes in there. I put some recipes in there for y'all. And they're hormone balancing. And they're also really good for your gut health. It'll just give you a baseline. Like, everything is there because you're going to get information all over the place and you're going to try and piece it all together. And with this mini course, it's just going to lay out all of the foundation, what you need to start with, things you need to eliminate. And then I also have journal prompts, and then I have a journal as well, and different toolkits that I offer. So that way it can get you on the right path to start losing weight. But you have to lower your cortisol. What is happening is the gut. the liver. I talk about that, the gallbladder, the toxins, the foundation. And you have to be patient and you have to be kind to yourself, because I understand that. What month are we in right now? What month is this? We are in the month of August. And for example, if you're telling yourself, I want to fit in a dress within 2 to 3 months, be patient with yourself. Okay. And also, another reason is I've been a little guilty of it, because I'm listening to different people and their opinions as to what's going on. And I had to stop. What worked? And I was looking at my A1C in 2018 and it was 5.1. Awesome. That was actually really good. And I said, okay, what did I do different back then until now? And of course, your body does change. I actually tracked my macros. I had a watch that, will tell me my heart rate. I train within my heart rate zone. And it also showed me how many calories I was burning. So for me to lose the last pounds, that's exactly what I'm going to go back to. And just going back to the basics. Now, I understand what you used to do may not work. It may not work for you like it did 5 years ago or 4 years ago, because your body really is changing and you're going through hormonal chaos right now. And I completely understand. I know it's frustrating. You have to go and buy a whole new wardrobe and you can't fit into some of the outfits that you want to wear. And it is depressing. And I understand, because there are times where I'm like, and I'm being really authentic with you. Here I am, a health coach, and it's like, what's happening right now? Because I'm experiencing it, because this is the first time being almost 50. So those of you that are over 50, you'll tell me, yeah. This is what happens, this, that, the other. And some women, they're fine with being overweight. And they actually are, they don't have a lot of menopause symptoms. And some of the symptoms that you are having, it could be someone in your family or genetics, or your mom went through. I know my mom, she had horrible hot flashes, but she was a smoker. She smoked cigarettes and she was not eating healthy at all. So insulin resistance, it does run in my family. And that's another thing that you have to take in consideration. And you have to be kind and patient with yourself if you also are dealing with that. I say, don't claim, we're going to say in the name of Jesus, we're not claiming any genetic issues that are going on in the house or in your family, in your bloodline, your generational. We're going to break that today in the name of Jesus, because my father has diabetes, my sister, and my mom. Of course, she passed away several years ago. And so these are little warning signs for me, especially mine increasing to 5.8. People that are diabetic, they'll say to me that that's not bad. That's actually really good compared to my 7 or compared to my 6. But I'm not used to it being that high. So this is what is also happening. So what I am doing and what I have did, I am on HRT now, and I will do another video about that. But within my 8-week course, I listed some hormone, and most of them are in the state that I reside in, but they offer virtual. And then I was able to locate some in other states, and they offer virtual appointments as well. And so that way they can optimize your hormone replacement. And I also have labs in this program. So some of you may not be running full thyroid panel labs, full different labs that you need to do. And that is very important. And I explain that in my course as well. But, be patient with yourself. And these are the main reasons why you can't lose: the cortisol, the insulin, your hormones. And again, you have to get your foundation right. You have to make sure you're eating right. And it has to be whole foods. If you drink alcohol, unfortunately, it just does no justice for you at all. And I had to tell one lady, I said, this is why you can't drop. You're at a stall. You're at a halt because you have to eliminate alcohol. Alcohol is just, unfortunately, some people say, oh, you can have one drink per week, but it will stall your weight loss. This is the downfall with aging and being a woman in perimenopause and menopause. These things can make it worse. And I have some women that don't want to hear that. They don't want to give it up, and there's nothing that I can do for them until they have had enough and they're like, okay, I'll just go ahead and give it up. But it's totally out of my control. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much if you stayed until the end of this video. Until next time, bye.